Choose your superpower. A mysterious entity offers you 4 random powers, but you have to pick one. Choose now. Number 1, body combat. The ability to fuse body manipulation with physical combat. How far can we take this? Pretty darn far. You're more or less going to win any fight with any kind of normal human being with wild ease. You can turn your fingers into bone skewer knives. You can put mouths on your body with super sharp teeth. You can turn your legs into springs to give yourself an extra pow with your punch. The only limitation this has is that this is supposed to be for physical combat, and therefore you might be limited in the amount that you could use this in your daily life, as opposed to normal body manipulation, which you can use for an enormous array of things. This is slightly more limited. Number 2, channeling. The ability to channel anything. How far can we take this? Also, super far, because this is completely vague and therefore totally adaptable to whatever you want to imagine this power to be. Maybe you get really good stuff, maybe you're totally screwed. But the ability to channel anything allows you to harness anything, energy, powers, emotions, and use it in a myriad of ways. Well then heck, you can pretty much do almost anything with this because it is so wildly vague. And assuming that the words here are a prescription from God, then guess what? You can more or less do anything as long as you have something to channel, which you always will. Number 3, Unobtainium Aura. The power to surround oneself with unobtainium/phlebotinum. How far can we take this? Maybe kind of far. You're essentially cloaking yourself in some sort of plot armor, very literally, which could allow you to do an enormous amount of things, but also possibly just about nothing, depending on how impressive your unobtainium phlebotinum plot armor plot device is. In terms of Mass Effect, Element 0 is pretty impressive. You've got the ability to, use some sort of telekinesis and shoot things at people, but generally this would be a useful shield, if nothing else, and possibly make you hit a little bit harder. Otherwise, Number 4, spiritual force manipulation. The power to manipulate spiritual energy. How far can we take this? Really, really, really far. Manipulation powers are incredibly powerful as long as you have access to the thing that's being manipulated. In this case, spiritual force is something you absolutely have within yourself as a human being, and therefore you can do kind of whatever you want with this. It is entirely possible you're able to break the laws of physics with this. It is also entirely possible that you're able to do almost anything. Any kind of spiritual power you've ever heard of, you've got access to it. Any kind of ESP, Esper-like ability, yeah, I'd say you can probably deal with that too. Which is the best choice? That's a bit of a toss-up. Spiritual force manipulation and channeling are both very powerful and very vague, very adaptable. Channeling might have a slight edge because of its vagueness and therefore its interpretability, which means that you could realistically break this and bend this into a power that allows you to do essentially anything. Because you can define that as, hey, it's channeling. I channeled my rage to get a tax break. Technically allowable. What do you think is the best?